Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Chaos PC Tech. In this video, I will be showing you a quick guide on how to run and install Linux Mint OS in VirtualBox on a Windows 10 computer. Let's get started. So the very first thing you want to do is open up your web browser and then type VirtualBox. Then click the corresponding link pertaining the download link. And when you're on their website, you want to look for the Windows host and the VirtualBox extension pack. Once you got both of those downloaded, let's get ready to install and run VirtualBox. Just click the download link at the bottom of the page to get it running. And from here you want to click Next, Yes, and Install. And give it a few seconds. Shouldn't take too long. Alrighty, come on. There we go. Finish. Now let's get the extension pack and click Upgrade. And then we'll scroll down through all this and agree. Sign away our firstborn baby. Alright. Let's go back to the web browser and search Mint OS or Linux Mint. Click on the web page and press the download link. And from here we got Cinnamon, Monte, and XFCE as flavors for Mint OS. And for the sake of this guide, I'm just going to grab the top one, Cinnamon. And then we're going to grab one of the mirrored download links. And feel free to put the download file in any location on your own computer. And now skip ahead and do some movie magic so you guys don't have to wait through the download. And here we go. Now time to open up VirtualBox and look for new up at the top here. Then we're going to type in our VM's name. I will call it Mint OS. Next click into ISO image, then others, looking for Mint OS wherever we put our file. And when we typed in our VM's name, you'll notice that our operating system's version was automatically changed, so we won't have to worry about that. Now it's time to configure hardware. Go click into it right here, and first thing we want to do is set up our RAM, then our CPU. By moving the base slider here, we'll change our total RAM capacity in our VM. I'll be using 8 GB for my VM setup. Next I'll be changing the processor slider to allocate 4 cores of my CPU to my VM. But keep in mind, you don't want to allocate more than half your total cores of your CPU or your total capacity of your RAM, or else you will run into some trouble on your main Windows operating system. Last thing to configure is our hard drive. Click into it and you'll see that it uses up 25 GB of your storage. That'll be fine for the purpose of this demo. Feel free to add more if you like. Now let's move on to the most exciting part. Let's run Linux Mint for the very first time in a virtual machine. If it doesn't run automatically, you can click the start button up the top to get it going. And we'll be delighted to see the VirtualBox splash screen, and soon we'll be brought up to the Grub bootloader screen. And we can make it a full screen by pressing right Control F on our keyboard. I'll put that description up on the screen. Now let's start Linux Mint 64-bit. But if we're too slow, it's going to automatically run. So I'm just going to fast forward through this section till we get to the start screen. Great, now that we're here, I'm going to right click the screen and go to display setting and change the resolution to 1920 by 1080 to get the full resolution for my monitor setup. Your resolution might be different from mine, so change it to fit your own monitor settings. Now that we got that out of the way, let's continue to fully install Linux Mint to the storage drive by clicking the disk image in the top left corner of your screen. I should mention while that's loading that the reason why we have to still install it, this is just a test environment, so that we could test it out to see if it's going to run properly on our bare metal hardware. Now that that has loaded up, we'll be setting up language. And then we'll click continue, and then we'll have to set up our keyboard layout. Continue. Over here we have the choice of our multimedia codecs. I recommend to install it, but your mile may vary. Now click continue. And for the next part, we're going to have to choose our installation type. The quickest and easiest way is to erase the disk and install Linux Mint. Unless if you are an advanced user, you could choose something else, which you could create or resize your partition yourself. Then continue again, and now we'll have to choose our location for our time and date. Then after all that, we'll have to set up our user account information and its highly secure password. Now we can finally fully install Linux Mint. And you'll notice that I started fast forwarding through this section to save you some time during the installation process. And once it's finally finished, it'll prompt you to reboot the VM. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that it's rebooted, let's sign into our account by entering our highly secure password we put in before. Shebang! Congratulations, you now have Linux Mint installed. The first thing you'll see is the welcome screen, and then you can hit let's go. Oh wait, I just noticed the resolution isn't at 1920 by 1080. Let me go quickly change that. Okay, where were we? Back to the first steps. Feel free to choose any color that you like, and if you want, go ahead and change your panel layout from modern to traditional. Again, the choice is yours. But most importantly, we'll want to update our machine by scrolling down and looking for the update manager. Then after you launched it, you want to hit OK. Then apply the update. Now I'll fast forward the video through the update section, and then as soon as it's done, it will want us to restart Linux. Yeah, you heard me correctly, you'll have to restart Linux as soon as it's finished updating. Bam, we're in. And now we're brought to the welcome page again. If you don't want that to pop up during the startup, you can stop it by clicking the checkmark box at the bottom of the screen. Bruh, isn't Linux for command line warriors and wizards alike? Well, let's just take a few steps back and update it like a true command line warrior. For the sake of this demo, I will show you how to update Linux Mint through the terminal. You do not have to follow along through this step if you already updated Linux, but even so, it still won't hurt to learn how to update Linux Mint this way. Let's open up the terminal and type in the command sudo apt update-y. Then we'll have to type in our password. And as soon as that's finished, we'll have to type in sudo apt upgrade-y. So now that the update is running, I should mention that all Linux distributions use sudo, which stands for super user do, and it is used for getting root permission, which generally requires a password for the first time you use it in that instance. And also, Linux Mint is a Debian-based Linux distribution which uses APT, and that stands for Advanced Package Tool. And there you have it. You see, it wasn't so hard to learn how to update Linux in the terminal. One last thing I'd like to show you all before this video ends is the internet working. I'll just quickly open up Firefox, and then I'll go to YouTube. There it is. Alright. Now I'll quickly paste in Chaos PC Tech. And it would be absolutely kind of you if you would subscribe, and if you thought this video was good, press that like button. More videos will be coming soon.